And we are live, Tom.
Good morning, Devon.
Good morning, Tom. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited about our first podcast ever. I think we're live in like a couple different formats now, right? I think maybe Facebook. Insta,
yep.
Right? So
LinkedIn, got a couple different areas.
Excellent. So today we're excited about sharing the message, right? Our message is elevate. So we want to try and create a podcast that helps to lift people's spirits, emotion, and journey, help to polish that journey and make it something a little bit better than it was before you heard our podcast. So Devon, as my co-host, and I started this brainstorm a few months ago, and then we challenged each other to make it a reality. So if it's in your mind, if you can vision it, you can make it happen, right? So we did some trials and tribulations with speakers and microphones and all sorts of stuff and cameras. And then we came up with a concept and a guest who Devon's going to introduce in a moment that I'm very excited to introduce, who's a realtor, a partner, a friend, a colleague, and someone that I'm excited to be able to work with. But one of the concepts is a rising tide lifts all ships. So we want to elevate or rise and lift together. So one of the concepts is we want to uncover or share failures, which is uncomfortable sometimes for people to share, but lessons learned and then successes because we're better or smarter. So without further ado, I'm going to let my co-host Devon Pinches share and introduce our guest, Valerie, and I'm so excited for us to begin. Devon, Thank you for being a part of this with me.
Thank you, Tom. I'm super excited to be doing this journey with you. So it is really an honor to kick off this first episode of our podcast with a guest that really has set the bar incredibly high for the real estate industry. And that is none other than Valerie Bertsch with Compass. Valerie is a broker and has a team. She is a powerhouse in the real estate industry, especially known for her successes in the Medford, New Jersey area. With almost 3 decades of experience in the industry, Valerie's expertise and dedication have earned her numerous accolades. So to name drop a few, Valerie has been awarded the New Jersey Association of Realtors Gold Award multiple years in a row. Plus, I believe since 2013, Valerie has consistently achieved the prestigious New Jersey Association of Realtors Circle of Excellence Platinum Award, say that 3 times fast, for over $20 million in sales and over 70 units each year. Valerie, we are now adding you to the stage, and we are so thrilled to have you on our podcast.
Well, thanks for having me. It's fun to be here with you guys this morning.
Valerie, I know that a little while ago we asked you to be a part of this, and you were instantly yes, which made it so much easier for me and Devon. So thank you so much for being a part of this. We're excited to kind of promote you and share some of your lessons and some of your successes and failures.
Thank you.
And we're excited to share the message that we all learn and grow together, right? If we're learning and growing, we can become something a little bit better. So as to use one of the lines from an Eagles coach, Nick Sirianni, just get 1% better each time you step on the field. So every day, if we try to do just a little bit more, learn something new, then we can all grow together. So I'm excited. But the first thing that I want to start with you, Val, is why real estate?
Ooh. That's a pretty good question. That goes way back because I have been doing this a while. And first of all, thank you, Devon, for all your kind words. That was very, very nice. Thank you. Why real estate? I think the flexibility at the time when my daughter was young was really appealing, not to mention my mother was in real estate. So many of us who are in the industry sort of grew up in it. My mother and her dear friends were some of the first people in the Medford area as women coming back into the workforce. in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and getting to watch them. And it just seemed like a natural fit. So that's kind of how it happened.
And so you had a powerful role model, not only as a mother.
Quite a few, and her friends. Yeah.
Sure. But that's really exciting to be able to follow in family footsteps, right?
It is.
And to be able to do so at a high level for many, many years in a row is just a testament to who you've become. The people that are before you certainly help to shape you.
Oh, absolutely.
But the success you have is only because you've continued to learn and grow yourself.
Lots of people have helped and are still helping. I had some of the best mentors, names that you probably don't remember, but in this town, Phyllis Griever, Marianne Cobb, they were powerhouses in their own right in a time when women were just getting back into the workforce. And real estate was one of their options. Now, of course, things are different. But it was amazing watching them. So I'm very, very lucky for that.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So Val, as we talked about previously, we wanted to talk about some of the things that maybe didn't go as planned. Some of the things that you wish you could have done different. Yeah. Not necessarily they have to be failures, right? But we talked about some of the things that you wish you would have done sooner or you wish you would differently. Right?
Differently. Yeah. There's always a lot because, it's a long time and things change. But yeah, I think as we talked about that, probably the main thing that I still struggle with and I'm still working on is the systemization of my business. You tend to real estate, you're just running all over the place, which fits with a lot of our personalities in this industry for sure. It's a natural thing. We're really good at it. It doesn't upset me. I love it. It's exciting. It's fun. It's never boring. One of the most important things for me in life. I don't want to be bored, but there's also chaos involved with that. And I think with the systemization, it helps those around me that, I could absolutely drive crazy if not, because I'm doing it my way constantly. And that's something that it's taking me a while to get there. And like you mentioned, the 1%, sometimes it feels like that's all I'm getting after like 2 months of trying a new system out is I'm just 1% better at it. And it also requires trying things out and maybe throwing them away if they don't work. But I do wish I had been more committed to systemization earlier. I think that would have been key.
But that's something that you're working towards improving, right? So that
always
that systemization challenge has now become a focus that is part of your success because you're always working to make that systemization better.
Absolutely. And learning new things and trying different models and just grinding away at it. Because it is a grind for me. It's not something that comes natural to me.
Right.
That part of it. I tend to love to just take care of what's happening now and not really worry about process as much. And I think it's really important, particularly on a team. But even without that, even as a single practitioner in real estate, I just think it helps everybody involved because we are dealing with families and singles and all just sorts of different structures that are moving along in the real estate industry.
Absolutely. How does that make you feel when you're able to help someone find the right home?
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. And the buy side's great. I love the sell side as well. I particularly love that part when I can add to their financial intake because we've presented the property in the proper way. We've taken the time to work with them prior to putting it on the market and getting it just right, getting photography right, the marketing right. And you see that they realize a lot more money. That's my job. And that feels fantastic. It feels like a win. So yeah, it's a great industry because you have this multiple times a year.
That's awesome. Devon, you and I had talked a little bit with Val about the whole team concept. And you had something that you wanted to kind of share with her and talk about.
Absolutely. So Valerie, you said that starting a team really brings you all together because real estate can become a lonely space. And when you have a team that functions to a high level, to a high standard, it really makes a difference to the synergy of the group. So can you talk a little bit why you started a team and what's really happened with you guys since forming?
Sure. Absolutely. I feel like that's one of the most best decisions I ever made way back when teams were just starting to become a thing in the industry.
Right.
I realized really soon on that I had a set of talents and then a set of not talents, if you will, or shortcomings that were really going to be holding me back, and things I just didn't enjoy doing and didn't do it well that needed to be done. So it just made sense to try and bring people together that could complement each other.
Right.
And I've been, one of the best things that ever happened to me is finding the person who's worked with me for over 25 years, because she has got the brain like a wizard of organization and calm, and she just compliments me so well, and I'm so grateful
Right.
for that. It allows me to do what I do well and know that the other stuff's getting done. But the team thing in general, it's fun. It's great to be part of something. To not always say the I when you're talking about your services, when you're going
Right.
on a presentation, it's we like the whole group has you.
Powerful.
We have that support. Yeah, the team thing has been great. It really can. I give so much credit to people who do it all by themselves. I don't know how they do it. It just seems so overwhelming to me. And also, I just know that I can't do things like Kelly can.
Understood.
And having that team, Val, allows you to use your strengths so that you can be engaging with the clients, helping them feel at ease with the process, explaining with the time that you've been in the space of real estate and helping all of these clients get to that final destination, right? But one of the things along your journey that's changed for you in recent times was the move from one brokerage to another.
Yes.
And now as a broker owner, team member of Compass, that's really helped you elevate and find new direction, right?
Yeah, that is something that I think I loved my previous company very much. They were fantastic to me, great friends there. But I think for a while I was feeling like I wanted to do something different. I had certain ideas of how I wanted my group to be, and just a different way, an independence, if you will. And Compass came along, and with its focus on, well, two things that I love about it more than anything. Educational aspect, because that's always been really important to me, the education. And there's just so much out there. And also this collaboration that happens throughout the country between all Compass agents. We call it collaboration without ego. I can get on anytime during the day and call anybody and across the United States and discuss anything, and they're open and they're welcoming. And I try and do the same as well. It's been great. Not that my other company didn't also provide in a different manner, but it was kind of a new thought, a new way of running a business. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been 4 years now.
It seems like Compass in general has more of that entrepreneurial spirit, right? For you as a team member to kind of have a little bit of freedom, a little bit more dynamic ability with the trainings, the systems, and the tools, right? Certainly all of these companies before helped build and create the baseline. And now you're able to kind of take it next level. So that's...
Yeah, I think Compass is. I think that's what, Robert, the owner, kind of envisioned. His mother's a real estate agent, and he wanted to create like the ideal situation for her, and kind of that was his model, and he continues to do it, and it's really been fun. It's of course we've coming through the pandemic and all sorts of other things that happened, so it's been very interesting, but the education's just out of this world. There's just so much available, and the people. It's great.
So speaking of education, right, I wanted to share a little something that we've been able to kind of share with you in terms of education, right? And the company that I work with is AnnieMac. So AnnieMac developed the Cash to Keys program. And recently we were able to certify you and your team to be Cash to Keys specialists, right? Tell me a little bit about how that's helped you recently with a couple of deals that we've been working on to secure deals that we might not have been able to win without this benefit.
Yeah. So The program, as you know, has been around for a little bit. We just sort of jumped on the Cash to Keys thing. What has it been, about a year now?
Mm-hmm.
It's been about a year. It almost seemed too good to be true when I first heard about it, but I absolutely wanted to find out about it. It's been a very unusual market, as we all know who have been in. I've never seen anything like this. The lack of inventory. It's a tough market for buyers. They just can't seem to land a listing with the multiple bids and whatnot. And that there was a product out there that AnnieMac had developed to address these particular situations or problems or hurdles that we have in this market. So to be able to present an offer where we have a cash buyer, oftentimes, not only do we have a cash buyer, but because it is a cash to keys, it's not a strict cash deal where we still need that appraisal. You're also still able to come up with the appraisal waivers. It has, I believe, led to us being accepted, meaning our buyers being accepted on multiple bid situations on several occasions. I think, what are we, like 4 or 5 now? Something like that. So we're really grateful for that. And it went from it took a while, as you know. I really didn't believe this was for real.
You did fight it a little bit at first, Val.
I made you guys explain a lot on our blackboard, and I wanted to see the numbers. I'm like, this can't be. But when we realized that it really was for real, and then used it the first time, and then also on the side, listing side, being an agent who received offers from other agents who were starting to utilize the program, and getting to learn how it worked and feeling comfortable with it, it's been game changing for us. I do have to say that. Some hope out there for these poor buyers that are getting so beat up.
One of the things that I think it's helped with on the people that were thinking or needed to move, but didn't know exactly where they were going to go. They didn't know exactly how they were going to do this because they didn't want to list their home and have it under contract and not know where they're going. It helps to reduce that anxiety because now they can go out and make a cash offer and purchase a home.
Yes.
They can then list their home with confidence, but that offer that they make is non-contingent. And that, I think, is one of the most powerful things with that side of it, right? Making a cash offer non-contingent upon the sale of your home just creates an avenue for success, right? And even more powerful than just a buyer winning an offer, I think for real estate agents in general, it can help you gain more listings because of the ability for them to reverse the order with buy now, sell later. And they can make an offer, win a deal, and then list their home with you. And because you presented this, both sides of the transactions come together in a way that helps everyone win, right? And that's what we're most excited about, is that opportunity, right? And I thank you, Val, for the opportunity for us to share those buyers together. And I can tell you that most buyers, when I speak to them, are very doubtful that this is going to work, that this makes sense, right? Why is this? Is it going to cost me more? Is it something that changes the way we're doing this? And the stat that I think is powerful is normally, on average, across the nation, home buyers are making 4.5 offers before they get one accepted. And the average now, with like 1,897 deals closed through Cash to Keys, our average is 1.5 offers per accepted deal. And that's powerful.
That's impressive. I did not know that number. That's I would love to have that somewhere on a.
Yeah, we can provide.
That would be great, because that is, and I have to say, that has sort of been our experience. As you know, the last one we just had, there was only one property that finally came up for this family who they wanted to move to our location, and they had to get that property, coming soon. And so we had 2 weeks before we could get in to see it, and spent that time getting them ready. And thank goodness we looked at it. They loved it, put the offer in, had to bid against other people, and they got it. And I do believe it was Cash to Keys. So we saw one property, but the stakes were so high because we didn't know when the next one would come up, and they had a buyer for their house who was waiting on them to find something. So I really believe that was absolutely what got them the deal. I mean, how do you be a cash offer?
Thank you for helping us to lower that average with only one
there
deal.
You go.
That's fantastic.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. So the first deal, it actually happened.
there's something away from real estate that I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit is your love for animals, right? So you currently are
bringing it up. He's gonna do it, Val.
A mom of labs, right?
I have 2 labs and a cockapoo, so I have 3 dogs. Only 2 are Labradors. One's a cockapoo.
3 dogs. But I understand there's a greater number of another kind of animal that runs around in your property.
There are a few of those, yes. There are.
Okay. And you have a couple of rabbits?
Still staying mysterious.
Well, I've got to be very careful being the crazy bunny lady. But yes, I got involved with rabbit rescue, Tripple's Rabbit Rescue. I have 2 house rabbits, my own, that hop around my house with my dogs. It was always a dream of mine, and it really does work, everybody. They get along with the dogs and use a litter box and all that good stuff. But there's such a need for rabbit fosters, if you will. There's awful things going on to pet rabbits. So I created a space in my house where I can house quite a few.
So if we can help you find a home for these rabbits.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
That would be an ancillary benefit to our podcast.
I would gift lovely rabbits to people each time they bought a house if they wanted.
Oh,
could you imagine?
Can't you imagine the flow of business my way if they knew that they would be getting a rabbit? A house rabbit. It has to be a house rabbit. House rabbit.
A lucky house rabbit.
Yes.
So no longer Lucky Rabbit's foot. We're going to give the whole rabbit, right? The whole rabbit.
And we don't do rabbits outside in like the old days in cages, and we don't do that. They're house rabbits. They're like a dog or a cat.
Okay. All right. Well, see, that makes you more real, Val. We all, I'm a dog owner as well, and I
real
love
or weird or whatever. Sure.
A Labradoodle. The best part about the Labradoodle is they don't shed. They're hypoallergenic.
Labs definitely shed. So that's the doodle part.
Yes, Archie is a wonderful personality with kids and family and other people on the trail and things like that. So, Devon, do you have a pet as well?
I do. Yes. So I adopted a Yorkshire Terrier back at the end of February. His name originally was Granola, but I didn't feel like it suited his personality. So I named him Tito. And he brings me so much joy. He wakes me up at the crack of dawn, and it's nice to have a companion, right?
Yeah. Aren't we lucky? It is wonderful.
I've never experienced anything like that before. It's my first dog as an adult, right? So a lot of responsibilities.
Yes,
different from when I was, 15 and mom was doing it all. But it's crazy the amount of joy that an animal can bring.
Yes. And do you ever have happy hour with Tito while having Tito's?
You had to go there, didn't you?
I'm sorry. It was the softball. It was just put in my lap.
I must say, I do invite Tito to happy hour out on the veranda with my neighbors. And yeah, he's a part of almost everything I do. So no, he's a very social dog and is invited to happy hour, but he's on the water. No happy hour drinks for him.
Okay. All right. So Val, what I'd like to ask, if you wouldn't mind, is if you could share with newer realtors or realtors that are seasoned, something that has worked for you, something that's made you connected in the community, successful as a realtor, or just a better person, right? If you could share one thing that is part of you that you believe breeds success, and I would love to hear about that.
Wow, that's a big question. I just think it's what everyone in this industry who's been in it long term or wants to be in it long term have to really kind of develop is just the ability to grind, to just keep on keeping on. There are ups and downs, and in the beginning they feel so high and they feel so low, and to trust that it will get better. The hurt feelings when you see that someone has listed with someone else who you thought was your client, or just so many things, you try not to take it personally, and it's really hard not to. You put everything into it, and most of us are very much people pleasers and all that kind of thing. But, and I know this because my daughter's now working with me and she's 2 years into it.
I love
And
that.
I think she's just amazing, but I see how she gets like hurt and dejected and then feels great and loves it. All I can say is hang in there, because that does get modulated a little bit the longer you get into it. And I don't like to call it getting a thicker skin, because I don't think that's really what happens. I think you just know that you have the confidence in yourself to know that this uncomfortable feeling of something not working out, or you not being chosen for a listing or to work with a buyer, that it will pass quicker. And you try not to absorb it as a personal reflection of you, and kind of give yourself the grace to say, hey, I did my best. I would have loved to help those people, but for whatever reason, they went a different way. So I think that was some of the things or some of the best things about being in this longer, is you get a little bit better. Not that you don't feel those feelings, because you do, but it just tends to not be so, it just tends to even out a little bit more. And you're going to bounce back, because you have to bounce back, because that's what this industry is. You've got to keep going. You're here to help people. You're here to make a living, support your family, feel good about what you do. So it's that ability to just grind through that and try not to take it all too seriously,
Val, that's
Great advice.
It's excellent advice. And, it takes me to a podcast that I've watched recently, a TED Talk, about one single word that they've come up with that is one of the foundation points of those that continue to do well. And that's the word grit.
Grit. That's a great book, by the way.
Determination,
good book.
Focus, your ability, like you said, to control that modulation, right? There are ups and downs. Mm-hmm. There are times when our successes are so grand.
Oh, yes.
After that moment. And there's times where things don't work out. And what we can't let it do is pull us down. And just like the tides, there are ups and downs. There's high tides, there's low tides, right? The sun will come up tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And if we keep trying to take those lessons from those valleys and add them to our base, like you said, the highs are still high, but the lows aren't so low. And I think that's amazing advice for those that are watching. I want to thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for your spirit, and for sharing. I'm very grateful for both Devon and for Valerie today for helping us be a part of our very first podcast. We look forward to doing this on a monthly basis. Nice. We already have the next realtor lined up. I'm going to introduce Megan Ballarezo as our next guest. I think that's also a little bit of a hook because we've talked about it, and I think she verbally committed, but now I'm going to hold her to it. So Val, you've set the bar extremely high.
Well, I doubt that, but thank you. Thank you too for having me. This has been fun.
Yes,
it's been chat. It's always fun to chat.
It's been fun. Sorry for pulling out some of the rabbit and dog stories, but I think it's part of who you are. And it shows.
It is. I'm a rabbit lady.
We're human.
Yes.
We do these odd things. We do these odd things in our lives that bring us joy.
Yes. Devon, I'd love to hear just a little bit from you in recapping our first one.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So today we have explored with Valerie the successes, the moments of improvement that really can come, opportunities of growth, everything from building a team and how important it is, while also being happy with the team. There's always room for growth and improvement. We've learned that Valerie is a big fan of animals, dogs, bunnies included. We've learned from Tom that coming together in a space to talk about our successes and possible setbacks that will help us grow is a way to lead with value and hopefully grow and collaborate together on new endeavors.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Always remain open, right? To new possibilities.
Open-mindedness.
Yep.
Right. Open-minded and open heart, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Signing off here today for our very first podcast, one of many, I hope, Devon.
Absolutely.
And Val, thank you for being a part of that.
And good luck to you both on your future podcast. This sounds like a fun project.
Thank you, Valerie. Bye,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.